Okay, so if anybody know me, y'all know I'm very inquisitive and I like to know a lot about everything. Why? I don't know. So I was speaking with a young lady the other day, just randomly, and she told me she suffers from chronic illness. She says she mainly deals with the POTS and the EDS portion of it. So me being as nosy as I am, I asked questions, I researched it, then I asked some people around me. I didn't know people around me dealt with the same disease. 5 things you probably don't know, but should know if you want to know about chronic illness. 5. Number 1, they could be fantastic today and they could just be not into it tomorrow. One of the hardest things to do is to believe someone who says they don't feel good, who was just out running and jogging and laughing the day before. If you know a person that suffers from chronic illness, try to have some sympathy, empathize with them. I understand how difficult it may be because you could tell them, listen, man, we was just at game time yesterday. We was just out playing kickball. You was just dragging me in 2K19 yesterday. Now today you can't move, you can't get up, you don't got energy to do nothing. Calm down, stop making judgment, stop assuming stuff. Chronic illness can take a person's emotional and physical strength just like that. Try to not revert to yesterday and try to live in the moment and try to be understanding if you can. And if you can't, just remove yourself from the situation. Peace, be still. Number 2, chronic illness is something that's diagnosed and found often later in life. Now I know before we find out about a disease and the happenings of something, we swear we experts of everything. If you ain't had this when you was 5 or 6, you ain't got it. If you ain't have it when you was 10, you ain't got it. A lot of people find out they have chronic disease 19, 20, 25, 30. The symptoms of chronic illness often lie dormant. You can't even see it. You don't know what's there, but then bow, bow, it sneak up on you. And the people that deal with it, they don't know how to explain that. They've been fine most of their life. Now they're at the doctor trying to tell the doctor what's wrong with them. The doctor don't want to listen because the doctor's saying that she ain't show no symptoms of this. And they telling the doctor, of course I ain't show no symptoms of it, but I got the symptoms now, so can you please help me? And the doctor don't know how to help them because they don't believe them. The symptoms of chronic illness are not often at the forefront like other diseases or other illnesses or other happenings. Number 3, there is no cure for chronic illness. Like I said earlier in my video, there are a variety of chronic illnesses, but there's no direct cure to stop it from happening. So those who deal with chronic illness, their bathrooms begin to look like a CVS or a Walgreens or a drugstore over here. They nightstand look like a CVS. You lean over, you try to get some lotion, you knock down 45 bottles of pills just to make you feel better for that day. As humans, we all know how hard it is to find cures for diseases already. So when somebody tell you they got chronic illness, you're like, well, I can't just take this pill. Why can't you just take that medicine? Go get some Tylenol. Let me punch you in your face. Don't be insulting. Don't be rude to people. Again, empathize, sympathize, and if you can't, remove yourself from the situation. Number 4, chronic illness is a disease that you can't compare. A lot of diseases that affect a lot of humans today, you can compare. If you got this and that person got this, you guys can kind of sit down and talk about like how you got over it, the things you do to make you feel better. When it comes to chronic illnesses, each case can vary. Each case can be different. So if you know a person in Mexico with chronic illness and you know a person in New York with chronic illness, do not compare the two. Do not say, well, Carlos told me over here that he feel like this. Well, Sarah in New York told me over here that she feel like this. It could be 2 different cases. It can be 2 different atmospheres, 2 different lifestyles, 2 totally different situations. Although chronic illness share a lot of the same variables, I've come to understand that they're totally different. It's like DNA. You know how your DNA in a double helix, you probably don't even know what a double helix is. Well, it's like DNA in a double helix. When they look alike, but when you break down a person's DNA, you find very distinguishable characteristics of the, you know what, I'm getting way too smart. 2 cases not the same, man, and don't compare the 2. And number 5, those suffering from chronic illness have to be some of the most strongest endurance having individuals mentally I've ever met. When I was talking to this young lady, frustration didn't fill her voice. When she was telling me about sometimes people don't believe him and sometimes it gets pushed to the back and people don't understand the disease and how it can affect the lives of others. When she told me this disease wasn't one of those diseases where everybody pushes to the forefront, kind of understood it because I didn't really understand what it was until I sat down and I talked to her that I did some research on my own. So for those who out there are dealing with chronic illnesses, I know you guys gotta have the mental capacity of Xavier in the X-Men. Like y'all gotta sit there, put a helmet on sometime, and just breathe, stretch, shake, and let it go. And you will get a million prayers from me to you, hoping you all feel better and hoping one day they find a cure to take care of what you often do. I won't get out of here.
You're gonna hear what I say, gonna give it to you straight, just like Josh prayed.